Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson's Hero in X-Force, and this is my Marvel comic pull list for the last few weeks, probably like a month or so. So I have quite a bit of them. Now, I posted a different camera with my DC and my Independence, so this is probably going to look a lot different, and I haven't used this camera before, so I apologize if it's harder to see or understand. So I'm also going to try to make this quick because my memory card doesn't last as long on this camera. So first up here for my Marvel is Amazing Spider-Man. This is issues number 688, 689, and 690. This is the new No Turning Back story arc. And I want to say I'm really enjoying it. Off the Ends of the Earth, which I think is one of the best Amazing Spider-Man story arcs ever done recently, I really enjoy this change of pace. It's more intimate, it's more of his rogue gallery, and it feels like a classic Spider-Man tale. It's also really action-oriented, which is really nice too. It starts off with a bang. I think issues number 688 was a great way to start it, and the story's starting to broaden in the next two issues. So obviously they're using one of the main villains here being the Lizard, obviously to tie in with a really good Amazing Spider-Man movie, but you know, obviously this does not connect with that whatsoever. This is very current. So really good Amazing Spider-Man story arc so far. Next up are some more Amazing Spider-Man books, and that is Amazing Spider-Man 687 and a one-shot. Now 687 is actually the end of the really incredibly well done story arc of Ends of the Earth, and even though you had you know, some I didn't really like, which was they had these one-shots and had you read other comics to get the full Ends of the Earth story arc. Still, this was a really great one and a really good last Amazing Spider-Man issue of the Ends of the Earth. They really did a really good job. Excellent. I definitely recommend everyone picking that up in trade when it comes out, the Ends of the Earth. The other really cool one-shot, though, was Amazing Spider-Man number 15, excuse me, Amazing Fantasy number 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man. Even though they kind of messed it up putting this stuff up front on the cover, it would have been nice to be an actual, you know, recreation of the actual comic. It's still really cool to pick up Amazing Fantasy number 15 and read Stan Lee's incredible work in a single issue. Strongly recommend picking that up. Next up here is a new series, Captain Marvel. Obviously it's Miss Marvel. Now it's a little misleading, the cover here. I love McGinnis's work on the covers for this series, but it definitely is not that way inside. I do like the artwork inside, but it's very dark, it's very thick, and it's very opposite of the covers. She's very muscular and strong looking, and it works very well. It's a really well done comic, but I really wish they would be more in sync with the covers. I mean, they look so different. It's like night and day. So I love this cover and all the covers McGinnis did, and I am enjoying the artwork inside as well. I'm not sure how strong the overall story is going to be at this point. It kind of ended with a whimper, I think, the first issue. But still, you got some really great dialogue between her and Captain America, and some really funny cameo from Spider-Man. It's a good issue. Definitely worth a look. Next up here is Avenging Spider-Man, and basically we have the epilogue of the Ends of the Earth, and then we have kind of a complement book to Captain Marvel, and that's obviously Miss Marvel becoming Captain Marvel, and that's I think a 2, maybe 3 issue story arc with her. They're fun to read comics. I do like them, but I really hope this Avenging Spider-Man isn't going to be simply a tie-in complement book to every other series out there. It needs to be like it was at first, that first story arc, and have its own unique flavor and stand on its own story. Just my opinion, but I will drop it if they only have it to be a companion book like they're kind of doing lately. Still, Avenging Spider-Man is a good new Spider-Man series. Next up here is the limited run, which is Spider-Man. Excellent. What can I say? It's one of the best limited runs series done by Marvel in a long time. This one and Children Crusades, they're the same caliber. Definitely great storytelling, great artwork, and it's definitely going to be a must pick up on trade. For those of you who don't know, it's basically a storyline that has our Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man from the main Marvel universe, getting together with the Spider-Man of the current Spider-Man of the Ultimate Universe. Really well done, and when you read both those books like I do, it's really cool to see these characters meet. Definitely a very strong recommendation, and keep your eyes out for the trade on those. Next up here is Fantastic Four 608, which is the ending of the two-part story, which started in 607. It was really fun, and this is their last story arc for the Fantastic Four. I really enjoy seeing this story being done in the home turf of the Black Panther, and then you have, of course, Black Panther's sister, Storm, and Sue together, and then you have a separate story going on with the Black Panther and Reed Richards, very Indiana Jones-like. Really fun, and I really enjoyed the story arc. I really wish it would have been like a nice big, 4, 5, 6 or more part series. Really fun. And here also is number 10 of The Incredible Hulk, Stay Angry Part 3. I love the Hulk, but I think this might be my last picking up of this series. I did enjoy this issue. It was fun to see the Hulk fight Russian cyborg bears in space, but the direction that Incredible Hulk is going now is way away from what I really loved about it at first, with the first few issues. And even though I do like this enough to read it, I figure my money can be spent elsewhere, and even though I love The Incredible Hulk, one of my favorite all-time heroes, I think I might just maybe pick him up on trade later. A little disappointed with how great it was at first and what it's doing now. I'm sure they probably come around, but I probably won't be picking more up at this point. Still, if you like Incredible Hulk, it's definitely worth a look. Next up here is parts 1 and 2 of a 3-part limited run. Now, I like the Man-Thing, I like Swamp Thing. The Man-Thing seems to be Marvel's attempt to get into a lot of that buzz that the Swamp Thing has with DC. They basically see all the great buzz that DC is getting with Swamp Thing, and they kind of say, well, we have Man-Thing, let's put this out too. I like Man-Thing, and I do think it's interesting, but the great covers, it's the art inside is very, very imaginative, which is good, but it doesn't have the feel that I really enjoyed with the original run of the Man-Thing. The best thing about this, I think, so far is inside there is a reprinting of a really great classic Man-Thing comic. So if you like Man-Thing, though, again, it's probably worth taking a look at. Next up here is Uncanny X-Force, and I'll keep this short. If you're not reading Uncanny X-Force, this is number 2728, you need to be. It's one of the best things Marvel puts out, and it's an absolute must-read. Really great story arc right now. Again, I'm being quick because I'm limited on my time with using this new camera. I'm sorry about that if I'm going too quick. Also, there's a lot to go through. Next up here is issues number 6 and 7 of Avengers vs. X-Men. And I won't get in details, but I think the storyline right now is really good. I like what they're doing. I just really feel that what's going on right now should have massive consequences at the end, especially with the whole Phoenix taking over the X-Men and the stuff that's happening. I love X-Men. I've been reading them since the very beginning. For me, as a kid anyway, not since they were first launched, but that's what got me in the comics. But I'm pretty much on the Avengers side of the story right now. I love Avengers 2, and I think they are the ones that hopefully end up being proven right. Also here with number 8, one of my all-time love-to-hate X-Men, Submariner. It's a spoiler alert. He gets beat, and even though all the side stories out there don't really make sense, the things that happen doesn't really connect with what's going with the main book, I recommend you just read Avengers vs. X-Men and Versus. Everything else, all the other tie-ins, almost ignore them because they either make it confusing or the writers aren't in sync, so they do something that doesn't make sense, or they're just not as good. But really good Avengers vs. X-Men series. It's really heating up. Love seeing the Submariner get beat. And basically, Avengers versus series here was really fun too. As much as I liked Psylocke and Daredevil fighting, the best thing about this book is definitely Emma Frost versus Thor. In fact, I wish it was extra big issues so I could have gotten more of that. Really well done. Next up here, also those are all strong recommendations, by the way. Next up here is issues number 14, 15, and 16 of Uncanny X-Men. Of course, that is the, this is my head, apologize about that. This is the tie into Avengers vs. X-Men, and I think it's pretty good. It's definitely, I'm really waiting for it to get really good, and it hasn't gotten to that point yet. It's not really a necessary read, but if you like Uncanny X-Men, which I do, even though I'm on Wolverine's team more than I am on Scott Summers, still, it is definitely the second best non-X-Force book to get. I would say X-Force, Wolverine and the X-Men, and then this one. I'm really curious. Some of the stuff that happens in here, like I said, makes no sense connecting to the main Avengers vs. X-Men series. So I don't like that, but taken on its own, it's a good story with good artwork. And speaking of some of the best stuff out there, issues number 12, 13, and 14 of Wolverine and the X-Men. Really, really good stuff here. In fact, when I read this, it reminds me of what I love about comic books. Wolverine and the X-Men, it reminds me of when I was 11 years old reading Uncanny X-Men books. You know, the stuff I loved with Wolverine and Kitty Pryde and Jean Grey and all that wonderful interaction of characters, you know, all, you know, being led by an incredible headmaster at a really unique and interesting school. That's all here, and I'm really glad to see it. Where Uncanny X-Men is important because it's very relevant, I don't enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoy Uncanny X-Force and Wolverine and the X-Men. Really great stuff. In fact, I'm really curious how this is going to be changing things, and I definitely enjoy reading these tie-ins more than I do the Uncanny X-Men tie-ins. Really, really good stuff, and I cannot recommend this stronger. Next up, by the way, the artwork is just perfect for the writing in that book. Next up here are, these have obviously been out for a while, but the .1 issue 21.1 of Avengers and the new Avengers number 27. That is a tie-in. Let me say, I think right now these two books are really some of the best Avengers stuff out there. I would say, as Avengers go, probably the best Avenger book to read right now is the New Avengers. It's just so well done. The writing, the artwork is perfect, and the interaction of the characters is just really engaging. And issues number, I see 25, 26, 27, and 28, which I don't have right here right now, they're just really, really good. Anyone who's been reading New Avengers knows what I'm talking about. And as Avengers go, this isn't really the best jumping on point for Avengers, but it's still a really good issue. And if you read Avengers, kind of like you have to read, where Uncanny X-Force can be read by itself, but if you want to follow X-Men, you really kind of have to read Uncanny X-Men and Wolverine the X-Men. If you really want to follow Avengers, these are the two main books you really probably need to be reading. In fact, absolutely the only two books you truly need to be reading, the New Avengers and the Avengers. Excellent artwork, and definitely worth a read. And with that, those are my Marvel books. And again, I apologize for having to rush through that. And I'm doing a one take here, so sorry about sticking my head in the middle of that shot. But I would love to hear from you guys. Sorry I haven't been posting as often as I would like, but I will definitely always post, and I will always get my comics up here as long as I can. And I really like to hear from you guys what books you're reading, which Avengers or X-Men point of views that you like the best of the tie-ins, as well as, you know, which at this point in the series it's pretty late, so which side are you on, pretty much, Avengers or X-Men? Now, of course, the story is very gray, and that was pretty much a black and white question, but I thought it was kind of fun to ask. Also, let me know about this camera that I'm using, the first time using it. Let me know if you prefer my first camera that I used, or if you like this new one. And with that, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.